This is a great 1961 Ford film, dripping with Americana, on how to introduce the new Ford called Seeing is Buying. There are some big changes in 61 for Ford, as they would surprisingly ditch the beautiful 60 car in only 1 year, but I guess it had too much fin. GM was still twisting itself over backwards to not copy Chrysler's vent window door move, but finally give in fully in 1963. Anyways, hope you enjoy. I really liked this one. Ford was hitting stride on its dealer training films, and don't forget to subscribe for more.
Hi, Lois. I've written several Ford TV commercials, and I want your boss to look at them. Think it'll be all right to interrupt him? You might as well. If you don't, somebody else will. He's in there trying to work out a new ad campaign for Doty's Waffles. Jim, sorry to bother you, but I finished these TV spots for the local Ford dealers, and I wanted you to take a look at them.
You'll come back in a half hour, Jane. I'll be free, and we can go over them then.
Well, Jim, I've got an appointment. Suppose I just leave them and check you later, okay?
Yes, that'll be all right. Where are you going?
Over to Jackson's Ford dealership. You know, I just about sold myself on a new Ford as I wrote those commercials. It's about time I traded my 57.
Pretty good commercials. Self-adjusting brakes, rust-resistant body, 30,000-mile chassis lubrication. What do you know? That new Ford must really be something. Sure makes my 59 sound out of date. Lois, I'm going out to look at the new Fords. I'll be back around 1 o'clock. Take care of things, will you?
Sure thing, boss. Hey, what about Doty's Waffles?
Good morning. I'm Al Nelson. Can I show you the new 1961 Fords, Miss,
Burton, Jane Burton.
Nice to know you, Miss Burton. Did you have any particular model in mind you'd like to see?
Yes, I did. I'm particularly interested in the two-door Fairlane 500.
Fine. This is the Fairlane 500 Club sedan, right over here.
Ford certainly has changed the styling.
Indeed they have. But it still has that distinctive Ford look. This is the type of styling several other cars are trying to copy because the public really likes these crisp lines. Isn't she a beauty?
Yes. Quite different from my 57.
Quite different from anything on the road. There have been a lot of changes. Notice this completely new grille, extending all the way across the front of the car. This and the wide-spaced headlights give a look of smartness to the whole front end. Now, let me tell you about Ford's wide choice of engines.
Mr. Grant, there are 4 great Ford engines available, the widest choice in the industry. From a 223 cubic inch, 135 horsepower 6, up to the big 390 cubic inch, 300 horsepower 8. What are you driving now?
I have an 8, but I've heard a lot about the 6, and frankly, I'm interested. I only use a car around town for the most part, and I'd like the idea of a 6-cylinder gas economy. What do you think?
You can't beat it for gas economy. The Mileage Maker 6 is a really modern 6-cylinder engine of short-stroke design. And with a full-flow oil filter standard on every 61 engine, you'll only have to change oil every 4,000 miles. Now, here's a time and money saver you'll appreciate. With the 61 Ford, the chassis must be lubricated only once each 30,000 miles, instead of at every 1,000 miles as previously recommended. Have you stopped to figure out what it costs you to lubricate your car over 30,000 miles? Since it costs you about $1.50 every time you have it done, it means you save about $45 just in cost alone. And what's more, the inconvenience that goes with having a car lubricated has been eliminated, too. By the way, the $45 you save will just about pay for white wall tires and wheel covers.
Don't you think this is a good-looking profile? Nice, clean, flowing lines.
It certainly is. I particularly like this flat, thin roof line.
Notice how the door handles are actually part of the car's styling instead of being just added on. This is another of the custom-built features that add to the 61's beauty. Say, speaking of beauty, I was admiring your 57 when you parked it in front of the showroom. Certainly kept it looking like new.
Why, thank you. I've spent considerable money keeping the finish waxed and the chrome cleaned. My car sits out, you see.
Well, then, you'll really appreciate the 61 Ford's diamond luster finish. It never needs waxing. And what's more, the bright metal will stay shiny, too. This year, the anodized surface of the aluminum trim has been increased 2.5 times. And the chrome plating on the bumpers is much heavier in the depressed areas where rust usually starts. And the wheel covers and hubcaps will stay shiny, too, because, for the first time, they're both made of stainless steel.
How wonderful. Tell me, has anything been done to eliminate having to wash the car, too?
Well, not yet. But if it's ever done, you can bet your life Ford will be the one to do it.
I've heard that the new Ford bodies won't rust. Is that true?
Well, even a galvanized pail will rust in time, Mr. Grant. But Fords are now far more resistant to rust than ever before. Now, let me show you what I mean. The rocker panels have been galvanized. And in addition, all critical parts of the body and the undersurface have been treated with a special anti-corrosion chemical before either the primer or the paint finish has been applied. And all 61 Ford mufflers have greater resistance to rust out because they're double wrapped as well as aluminized.
So what do I have on my 59?
Your 59 muffler is single wrapped. The 61 is double wrapped to last a lot longer. In fact, you'll probably never have to think about replacing it since you trade every 2 years. And here's another big improvement. The 61 Ford has a 51-inch wide trunk opening. Easier and quicker loading and unloading. And there's more usable load space available than in your 59 and the 60 because the spare tire has been relocated way up front in an out-of-the-way position.
That tire is rather inconvenient to get at, isn't it?
Well, consider it this way. How often do you change a tire? Have you had a flat on your 59?
Yeah, once on a fishing trip.
Well, don't you think it's worth having this space where the tire used to be for everyday use when in 2 years you've only had to take a tire out once? Isn't it worth a little inconvenience for that?
Well, when you put it that way, I guess so. That extra space would be much appreciated.
Miss Burton, you'll find this trunk will hold a lot of luggage before you have to think about packing it properly. The deck lid's pretty smart looking when it's closed, too, don't you think? And what do you think of the big tail lights?
I've been admiring them.
These big round tail lights have become almost a Ford trademark. They're not only good looking, but because of their size, they make driving a lot safer. Notice how nicely they're topped off by the canted fins and blend right in with the overall styling of the rear of the car. And this new Ford has a big one-piece bumper that provides good protection from rear impact. Now, you mentioned you carried several people in a carpool. Let me show you how much room there is in the rear seat.
Just take a look at this rear seat, Mr. Grant. Notice how wide it is. There's plenty of shoulder room and headroom here. And everybody on that back seat will ride just as comfortably as those on the front. And speaking of ride, a ride in the 61 Ford is better than ever. It's what we call a 5x5 ride.
What do you mean, 5 by 5?
Now, you put your finger at this spot. And I'll put mine over here. This distance between your finger and mine, Mr. Grant, measures the 5-foot length of the new Ford rear springs. And this 5 feet is also the width of the Ford front and rear tread. That's what Ford means by its 5x5 ride. It gives you a controlled, balanced ride that adds considerably to your comfort. And when you ride in the 61 Ford, you'll be safer because Ford's wide-contoured frame flares outward to form a husky steel barrier right behind the rocker panels. You should feel a lot safer driving when you know you and all your passengers are completely surrounded by solid steel protection.
I sure do. I'm all for feeling as safe as possible.
safer because
Speaking of safety, Miss Burton, Ford has lifeguard door locks that resist the possibility of doors springing open upon impact. And the recessed safety type steering wheel is standard on all models. Also, the padded dash and padded sun visors are available at a small extra cost.
Those are things I wouldn't want to be without.
Now, let me show you something about this front door. It holds in two positions, full open or partially open, like your 57. You know how much easier it is to get in and out when the car is parked in a tight spot.
Yes, especially when I have my arms filled with packages.
Mr. Grant, notice how the wide opening door and no dog leg make it easy to slide on and off that comfortable chair-high seat.
I can see that.
This seat has been what we call position engineered. In addition to the cushion height, the seat back is angled at what extensive tests have proved to be the most comfortable position for all driving conditions. Get in and try it. Now push down on the seat cushion, Mr. Grant. There's 1 3/4 inches of foam padding there that'll add to your driving comfort. And feel the quality of the upholstery material there. Really durable and rugged, too. In fact, much more so than anything you'd ever find in the finest of household furniture. And if you look closely, you'll notice that the workmanship in this upholstery is really superior. All the seams have been sewn with nylon thread. You know how strong nylon is. And this upholstery wears well and will always look nice. Best of all, it's easy to keep clean. Here's another good feature. All 61 Fords have positive windshield wipers for steady wiper action, even when you accelerate to pass other cars. And on this 61 instrument panel, all controls are within easy reach, and they're easy to read. At night, these control identifications light up, so you can easily find the right control now.
This is something I've always taken for granted on my 59 Ford. But come to think of it, I'd sure miss it if I didn't have it.
You know, Miss Burton, one of the features that appeals to everyone is Ford's excellent forward visibility. It makes driving much easier, don't you agree?
It's a lot better than my present car.
And speaking of driving, you'll really like the maneuverability of the 61 Ford. It's almost 4 inches shorter and 1.5 inches narrower, which makes it easier to park. And you'll find the steering much easier than on your 57. The 61 steering requires 25% less effort than even last year. And power steering has been improved. It's now 85% easier than manual steering and 50% easier than last year's power steering. Another important feature, Miss Burton, is Ford's new brakes that are self-adjusting. Every time you back up and apply the brakes, they automatically adjust themselves. You'll never pay for another brake adjustment. But you know the best way to tell you about this is to show you. Let's take a demonstrator out for a drive, and then you can really see how wonderful the new Ford handles and rides.
Well, that's a good idea. I'd like to drive it.
Well, the 61 Ford is quite an automobile, Mr. Douglas. Seems to me you've shown me just about everything.
Well, not quite. There's one very important thing left.
What's that?
I've shown you all these things. Now let's take a ride and let the car prove to you that you get more Ford for the money than ever before.
Here are your commercials, Jane. I think they're excellent. After reading them, I dropped everything and went and took a look at the new Fords myself.
Did you like the cars?
And how? And I saw everything. My salesman didn't miss a trick. He was what you might call thorough.
You know, the salesman I had was that way, too. It was almost as if he knew what he was going to say at every point as we went around the car. I wonder if they're all like that.
Well, my own shopping experience has been that a lot of salesmen have been sort of forgetting product and selling price. But if what I got today is a taste of what Ford salesmen are doing, their prospects are really going to know what they're buying.
Before we ring down the curtain on this film, Al and I want to call your attention to the way we presented the car features to our two prospects.
It's nothing new. It's just the position selling technique.
But if you start using it right from the first day of announcement, you'll be assured that every prospect that comes to you will be given a thorough presentation. And you won't be losing any sales because of lack of effort along these lines. It takes less than 10 minutes.
So let's review very quickly what Doug and I did in each of the 6 positions. In position 1, at the front of the car, we presented the front end styling, talked about the wide choice of Ford engines, and the lubrication story.
In position 2, at the right side of the car, we presented the side styling, talked about the diamond luster finish, and Ford's galvanized rocker panels.
In position 3, at the rear, we talked about Ford's double-wrapped aluminized muffler, the size and load space in the trunk, and the rear end styling.
At position 4, at the left side of the car, we talked about the rear seat, the Ford 5x5 ride, and Ford's wide contoured frame.
At position 5, by the driver's door, we mentioned Ford's other safety features, the entrance room, and the position-engineered seat.
At position 6, in the driver's seat, we covered the interior, easy visibility, and maneuverability. In this way, we're sure that we didn't forget to mention an important item. We worked out the features to be talked about at each position and put them on these position-selling cards. After memorizing them, we knew what we wanted to say about each feature ahead of time.
In this way, when prospects come in, it's easy to take them around the car and show them everything, even if you don't follow the exact order that we used. Why don't you try it? It impresses prospects. It tells them what they came in to find out, and it's a pretty sure thing. If you show the car from 6 positions, you'll increase your chance of making the sale, because seeing is buying.